Hey guys, Churchy here. So I just wanted to quickly let you guys know that I'm planning to stream a co-op run-through of Baldur's Gate 3. It'll be weekly on Mondays, starting at approximately 8 PM Australian Eastern Standard Time, and I'll be beginning that on the Monday coming up. That's the main thing that I wanted to quickly mention to you guys, but if you do want to hang around, I would love to just share some of my history with D&D with you guys. So with Baldur's Gate 3, I'll be going in blind. I think some of the others I'll be playing with will be too. It's a group of guys that I played through Divinity Original Sin 2 with, which was the previous game that Larian Studios have done. It's a different system, but I've always felt like Div OS2 was the game that always has felt the most like D&D to me in a video game format. So I'm really happy that Larian has got to do Baldur's Gate 3, and I'm really excited to play it finally. Because I just avoided all the early access stuff and everything and just waited patiently because, basically we've been planning this co-op playthrough we've been keen for it for months and months. So my history with D&D. I played D&D back in the day, just after high school. I was involved with the D&D group. It's just a thing at a friend's house. We used to play weekly, and it was just a great time. It was just, good food, good company, and just lots of laughs and everything. I fondly remember I was playing a dwarf, and I was just, I think I had a shield and an axe from memory, and I was just kind of like one of the frontline kind of fighter guys. And basically, from what I remember of how my character kind of ended was that there was one of my mates was playing, I think he was playing a halfling, but anyway, my dwarf was very attached to his beard and loved his beard very much. And then one day this little halfling bugger, he decided to cut it off while my dwarf was sleeping. So he cuts the dwarf's beard off. The dwarf wakes up, my character, and basically realizes what's happened, goes into a blind rage basically, and chases the halfling off into this deep, dark, dangerous forest that we were in. And pretty much that was the last that was ever heard of those two characters. And this was after we played for months and months. Every week we'd get together and play and stuff. So it was a pretty funny ending to those characters. Then many years later, I played in a Pathfinder group. So I was playing D&D 3.5, which is sort of what Pathfinder as well is then based off. And that's sort of the one I'm most familiar with. Baldur's Gate 3 is, I believe, based on 5th edition. So anyway, with the Pathfinder group, that's just, again, more just really fond memories. I remember we started out with actually quite a large group because there was a lot of people wanting to try it. So I think we actually started with 8 players or something crazy. And it was pretty chaotic the first couple of times with that many people. And then it kind of, the ones that wanted to hang around stayed and all that and continued on. But I remember my character. I was a ranger, but I started out as and I think I ended up swapping to fighter. I started out as a ranger, and I still remember my pets' names as well. I had a pet hawk or eagle called Pebbles, and Pebbles loved collecting little small stones. And then Pebbles died one day, and then my character basically got pretty depressed about that, and then started drinking and everything, and he was just becoming a depressed alcoholic. And meanwhile, somewhere along the way, he basically found a wolf pup and stuff and ended up with a wolf pet, which I called Marrow. And I think if I ever get a dog, I'll be calling it Marrow. I'm kind of attached to those names now, like Pebbles and Marrow. But basically, so he had this companion and stuff, but also because of his drinking and everything, he started to kind of unravel a bit, and he started to kind of have some darker tendencies, and it was really fun role-playing kind of that perspective of it, because as time went on, he just kind of became darker and darker, and he went from basically, by the end of the campaign where we stopped playing, basically, we never entirely finished, as you do with D&D. You know, you play for so long, and there's always, you know, the next thing. But basically, he started out as like, you know, a fairly level-headed, fairly peaceful kind of ranger guy with his pet bird and stuff, and then he pretty much ended up as like a twisted warrior guy that was like wielding a massive two-handed sword, and he was making deals with demons and stuff for more power, and he was just corrupted as all hell. And he was basically at a point where he was doomed, because I'd made like we ended up in a sticky situation in this encampment with a bunch of like warriors that were basically going to kill us or something, and my character pretty much made a deal with a devil and got like the power he needed to pretty much kill all those guys. But he was pretty screwed, because there was going to be consequences later. His soul was going to be claimed pretty much, and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, but it was just so fun, like experiencing that transition in a character I started with the plan of just remaining as this like level-headed ranger guy, and then he just progressed into this absolute, just basically he was pretty monstrous by the end. Like he was just yeah. So that was really cool. So that was sort of like, you know, what I did with those games. And as far as video games go, like D&D video games, you know, I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. I never really got too far in them. I was pretty young when I played them. And then other games as well that I really, really loved and played the crap out of was like KOTOR and KOTOR 2, Neverwinter Nights 2 I played. And there was a few others along the way that I like kind of touched a little bit here and there because my brother got them, like Temple of Elemental Evil. I think maybe Planescape Tournament once or something. I think that's a D&D one. But yeah, there was a few little ones like that I played along the way. But basically, like, I've always loved D&D and just role-playing in general. But yeah, like Baldur's Gate 3 has just been something I've had my eye on since I first heard about it. And I'm super excited that I'm so close to playing it now. I can't wait to dive in. I'm thinking I'm maybe going to play a barbarian or maybe a rogue. When me and these guys did play through Div OS2, I played as a rogue, and they were kind of all magey types, but also kind of like warrior mages, one of them. Excuse me. But basically I was like a rogue kind of assassin-y type, mixed with like whatever I could to be super mobile. And I was running around with I think by the end of it, a really powerful crossbow. And it was really fun because I would sneak around and I would be like, they'd be fighting and I would just like get sneak attacks, like super whatever attacks from outside the battle. And then I just kind of, I had enough mobility to kind of get in and out of combat. So I could keep like sneaking out of combat, get back in and being like really dodgy and getting like extra hits off and stuff and just doing all these shenanigans. And like, I remember one time, this was amazing. We were basically, they were fighting like down in this valley. They're like way down in this valley. And I'm like miles up on this little broken bridge thing, which was like a fair way away. But because of the way the angle worked and everything, I could actually shoot the enemies from there. But I was so far away that it would pop me into combat for a second and then just instantly pop me back out. Oh, because that's the other thing. I had like whatever buffs I could get to get more range and stuff as well. So I was like having so much fun because that fight was so funny because I still remember like just like they're in the fight and I'm just looking at where they're fighting the guy, the different like bandits or whatever they were we were fighting, and then you just see this like arrow go flying a mile and hit one of them and like, oh man. Anyway, it was great. And then I just have like so many stupid memories of it too, like all just the banter and shenanigans. And like I remember doing like a conga line of rocks when we were like stealthing, even though we couldn't stealth too well. Well, I could, I think, but yeah, just stuff like that. So the fact that I have all these like awesome memories of that game, and bro, I still remember when we finished, and just I remember sitting there just like elated watching the credits roll, and just because it had been such a long grand adventure and we had played so much and it was just like it was all done, you know. now there's Baldur's Gate 3, and like me and those guys get to go on another adventure together. And I've been hanging out for it for months and months, and it is so good that it's finally here. But yeah, I think, that's pretty much all I have to say. Very, very excited. Planning to stream weekly, Mondays, approximately 8 p.m. AEST, Australian Eastern Standard Time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you to the legends supporting me on Patreon, because that's just what's been allowing me to do this and play so many different games and just really dive in deeply into them. And yeah, I'm just loving life right now. So many games coming up that I'm super excited for, and just been having a blast. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day or night, whichever it may be. Peace.